It was November 13th, 1960. 5 days earlier, John F. Kennedy was elected president. And in Paulding, Ohio, it was supposed to be a relaxing Sunday for the EAGLESON family. We'll start at 2 in the afternoon. That's when 13-year-old Nancy and her 5-year-old sister Cheryl walked to the downtown movie theater. Nancy was wearing some fancy new heels, her first pair. Remember that because it will become important later. They went inside to watch a double matinee. One of the two movies playing that day, David and Bathsheba.
Since it was a double matinee, probably got out about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Jean Windsor describes what she says happened next. Nancy and her little sister Cheryl walk up to the town square, drink sodas at a restaurant, then head to their dad's bowling alley.
And Nancy had on her first pair of high-heeled shoes and was really dressed up, looked very nice. And probably was realizing there's a drawback to high-heeled shoes and kind of wanted to ride home. But Dad was busy, couldn't take him home.
So they continue their walk home along Jackson, across a bridge.
One of these big spooky iron bridges with the big spans.
And eventually to Flat Rock Drive. They are almost home. Then it happens.
He pulls over clear on the wrong side of the road. And he gets out and he grabs Nancy and starts to put her in the back seat.
Little Cheryl jumps on his back.
He throws her down to the ground. By the time she raises back up, he's pulling away.
She runs for help. 5 hours later, and about 8 miles away, raccoon hunters find Nancy's body.
She had been sexually assaulted and shot, a gunshot up through here, and it came out here and killed her. And it's never been solved.
When Windsor retired from teaching, she was drawn to focus on Nancy's case, gathering detailed notes and articles.
You could do anything in your retirement.
Sure.
Why this?
Because it's haunted me all my life. It haunted me that they were never able to solve this case.
It has also haunted Nancy's baby sister, Meryl Eagleson, who was born after the tragedy.
This is my mom and dad after it happened.
She's done a lot of investigating herself. Remember that fancy shoe that Nancy was wearing?
Do you want to start with the shoe?
I can.
Okay.
It's October of 2013. Renovations are underway at the old jail.
Well, what they had done was demolish this wall, and it was behind this wall. There's no windows in it, shackles on the walls, and they uncovered it there.
Her mother eventually came down to take a look for herself.
I said, Mom, describe the shoe. And she described it. And I said, would this be it? And I pulled it out from behind my back, and we have a picture of her holding that shoe in that bag. And she said, it looks just like it.
Could this be the piece of evidence that would lead to the killer?
She says they sent it away for DNA analysis, but came up with nothing. A dead end for Meryl, Jean, and for Cheryl, the person likely most impacted by this tragedy.
It used to be just beautiful, light shining down on the sparkly sidewalk, and we used to see a lot of shows here.
That's Cheryl now. Remember Nancy's little sister who was with her the day she died?
Don't even remember leaving, but I know that this is where it started that night, and so it's sad.
Memories so terrible, she's struggled with them for decades now.
Jumped out of the front seat, grabbed her out of my hands, threw her in the back seat of the car, and as he stood in the car, he blocked the door. I couldn't see her. And I kept trying to look around him, and I couldn't see what was happening, so I jumped on his back, and he threw me back on the ground.
A final heartbreaking memory of Nancy. She says she's tried so hard to give investigators a better idea of the man who was in that car. She's been hypnotized 3 times.
They said, okay, you tell us who it is, and we'll give you a pony. I didn't have the answer. I didn't know who it was.
Eventually, the nightmares came. She'd picture Nancy leaving a laundromat.
You know, I'd get her against the wall, and I would say, Nancy, who killed you? And she would just smile and fade into the wall. And it was like, I feel now that I'm older, I can go back and go, yeah, that's the only one that can give me the answer.
Now their goal is to keep Nancy's story from fading away.
Cheryl on a bicycle.
This group of 3 women determined to find that final chance for justice.
If we had Nancy's clothing, if we had that crucial evidence that is now missing, It would be easy to solve, probably.
Well, hold on. The evidence is missing?
The evidence is missing. It has been misplaced.
Paulding County's current sheriff says there is no explanation for why the evidence is gone. He calls the fact that it's missing disturbing. He says he's been around for 25 years and he has never seen it at the department. So what's next for this family? They want to exhume Nancy's remains in hopes of finding DNA. The sheriff tells me he's consulted with the experts who say digging up the remains would provide no value to the case. So the family is raising money now to go ahead on their own. You can find a link to their GoFundMe page by scanning the QR code on your screen. I'm Tom Powell reporting.